why do we find the past so fascinating? All of us here watching this video are doing so because we love history. But what is it about the time before which makes us so intrigued? Could it be heartwarming stories of love and romance? Possibly. Or instead, do we prefer a story of heroic triumph? Perhaps. But one thing which keeps history buffs engaged is actually the more melancholic tales of sadness, strife, and poverty. So here at the History Place, we do not want to disappoint. Stay with us to find out about the sides of history they don't teach you at school. I am the History Lady, and here is a true historical tragedy. In 1842, Thomas Walker and his wife Joan saved up all their wages to buy the bakery of their dreams. They packed up all their belongings and moved all the way to London to start their new journey. Once there, the couple discovered that they were expecting a baby. Thomas and Joan were so happy to finally be parents after years of living as a couple. Business at the bakery was booming, and the family soon moved into a large townhouse overlooking a famous park in the center of the city. They had been enjoying their successful work-life balance of being successful business owners and loving parents to their daughter Anne. Anne was a happy and energetic young girl. With golden curls and round blue eyes, she looked perfect to her devoted parents. Anne would often help her parents in the kitchen, and when she was 4 years old, she was allowed to work full-time in the bakery. One day, Anne had been working hard cleaning out all the crumbs and dirt from inside the oven. She was sure her father would be very pleased with her efforts. As the oven was warm and with Anne so tired, the 4-year-old little girl laid down to go to sleep. Her father returned to the kitchen to place the fresh bread dough into the ovens. He slid them in one by one, filled it high with coal and wood, and left to get on with other duties. Unfortunately for Anne, she was sound asleep in the oven when her father lit a fire within the oven. Anne tried to scream but was unable to be heard over all the noises coming from a busy commercial street in London. Her mother tended to customers blissfully unaware of what was happening to her daughter. After nearly 30 minutes, her father went to fetch the freshly baked bread. At this time, Anne's parents began to wonder where she was. They searched all over but couldn't find her. After a few days, little Anne was still nowhere to be found, and her parents were worried she had been taken, or she may have run away, or even worse, she could be dead. They tried their best to carry on and make sure the bakery business did not fail. Anne's father continued to bake bread until a foul smell made him stop in his tracks. He wondered what could be creating such an awful smell, as he had never smelt this smell in all the years he had been a baker. He looked inside the oven and saw a black pile. At first he thought it was a loaf of bread that had fallen from the top. He began to pull it out when he noticed a floral-looking burned fabric on the black mass. At first he was confused, and then he realized that it was the same floral print as the dress Anne was wearing on the day she went missing. He pulled at the piece of rag to discover that it was wrapped around the whole of the burnt loaf. As Thomas pulled out what he thought was a burnt loaf, a strange rock fell onto the ground. On closer examination, Thomas could see that it was no stone but in fact a human tooth. Thomas screamed as the reality of the situation started to dawn on him. He frantically pulled apart burnt remains until he saw what was his beautiful daughter Anne. Thomas was able to work out that he must have lit the fire which killed his daughter. The guilt he felt was too much for him to bear, so whilst holding the burnt remains of his dead daughter Anne, Thomas lit a fire within the oven and climbed inside. He bravely sat in silence as the flames engulfed him, bonding him and Anne together forever as their ashes became one. The sad tale of the Walker family is just one of thousands of true tales of the past. Like and subscribe to the History Place to hear more fascinating stories. Make the background music historical.